Hey friends, Sherry here with my very first process video using Hip Kit Club, so I'm very excited. Thank you for joining me. Let's get started here. I started out trimming off that beautiful We Are Memory Keepers Love Notes paper, trimming that 1/2 inch so that I could mat it on some white cardstock. And I had 3 4x6 photos. I trimmed the sides down off of the photo of my daughter and son, and then I cropped the sweet little rabbit photo down because I wanted to mat it with a pink paper. First of all, let me say that it's always so exciting when you have photos that you've been holding on to for a while and then the perfect paper comes along, and this was just that case. My daughter's bedroom has pale pink walls, and it complements that perfectly. But anyway, moving along, I've had these alphas in my stash that I loved that worked really well with it because it has brown and a little bit of blackish gray, which complements the rabbit and the lovely pattern paper. Then I took a crepe paper little journaling, it's not really a journaling card, but a little block from the crepe paper Love Notes, and decided I wanted to make a little embellishment. And I was cracking up because, of course, since I was recording this, I all of a sudden had 5 thumbs and couldn't cut a circle. But eventually I managed to get the circle cut out. And then I'm just kind of playing around with the placement, and I decided I wanted to use the little inside part of that circle that says "You Have My Heart." So I cut that out, and again, struggling just a tiny bit to make a circle, but I was far too lazy to go trace something around it, so I knew I would eventually get it into a shape that I'd be happy with. So there I am, placing that there. Now I'm looking for some paper to mount that on. I tried that and knew that wasn't going to work, so I'm just rifling through my stash a little bit, trying to figure out what I can use to add a nice contrast. I ended up finding a lovely little sheet of aqua paper there, and so I just punched that out and made my own little embellishment there. And of course, playing around with the placement. I was going to edit all this out, but edit all of that out, but I just decided sometimes it's good to see the process and see how you kind of come up with a plan here. So there, I'm finally happy with the placement, and I'm ready to commit and actually glue it down. Yay! A couple of little foam dots there to pop that up, and then I was the layout was starting to come together. Now I'm attaching that adorable little flare we got, I can't even remember what month, little camera. It's so cute. It's got a little bit of wood grain and a little bit of the aqua. It's just plays so well off of that, so I was happy with that. And I had these adorable little bunny clips from Studio Calico from last year that I just had to have since we have rabbits, and I just attached those down with my tiny attacher. It's one of my favorite little tools. It's always handy for attaching awkward little things. And okay, sorry about that little glitch there. This is my first time to do an actual voiceover, and it's been kind of a nightmare, I'm not gonna lie, but I would love to be able to wrap this up. So now I am taking some heart-shaped chipboard pieces that I had from my stash, and I attached those, and then adhering the other little bunny clip on the other side. Added a couple of more little staples there just to keep those rabbits straight. And now I am going to adhere my little hearts at the top. I'll have to be honest, I edited out. I struggled with the placement of those little hearts. It was cracking me up. I was like, dear Lord, stick them down. What is your problem, girl? Then I came across more of that little crepe paper stuff. I love that wood grain card there with the little hearts on it. So I decided that I would cut that out and use part of that to kind of playing around, figuring out exactly what I want to do. And then I decided I would just cut it in half and use that to kind of frame Shadow's photo. The wood grain plays so well off of that. And let's see, just trimming that down. Now playing with the placement of that a little bit. I have to say, after working with this video all day long, I have a new respect for people that just crank these things out like it's no big deal. Part of my issue is my computer is a little bit old, so a little bit old, is that possible? Slightly old. Anyway, I'm trying to make do with what I have, and I'm gonna fight through and somehow get this thing finished. That's all I'm gonna say. Hopefully it will get easier after today. Okay, now I'm pulling out those adorable Dear Lizzie white and gold little alphas and a few little words. I decided I wanted to use baby love at the top for that sweet little baby rabbit, little Shadow, so cute, snuggly. Now that rabbit is so wild and feral, he won't even let us touch him, but it's kind of fun anyway. They're adorable to watch. We're just basically bunny keepers now. They're not really pets, but they are adorable to look at, and they're just so cute, prancing around and hopping around and being silly. Part of the problem was, you know, we had this vision of having rabbits as pets, but our cat, of course, being the great hunter and carnivore, would like to make a meal out of those cute little rabbits, so that didn't work out so well. But anyway, there I finally commit to adhering down those chipboard hearts. And here I decided I'd like to use a few photo corners on the outside edge just to kind of add a little detail to the photos there. Really love the use of photo corners. I think I fell in love with those after watching a few wellness classes, taking a couple of her classes, and sometimes they are just the perfect touch. So I just got a new shipment of those in, so I'm happy about that. And let's see, I'm pulling out a few little chipboard elements out of the crepe paper from a kit maybe a month or two ago. And I'm usually crazy, like the arrow has to be pointing at something specific, but this time I really just liked the way the elements looked on the page, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna stick it down. I'm gonna break my own rule. And I was kind of happy I did. Now I'm just looking for a label to write the date on. I was gonna stamp it on there, but I just decided, since the background is so artsy already, I didn't want to add to that, so I just thought I would fill in that little spot down there with a little label. So I inked around the edges of that with a little Prima ink, just to kind of make that stand out a little bit. And this is basically the finished layout. At the end, you'll see in the detailed shots that I added a few little enamel dots, and I also cut out a little Hugs and Kisses XO from the crepe paper and adhered it onto the little blanket that Shadow was lying in. So anyway, thanks so much for tolerating this video. Hopefully